Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to be graced by the presence of many distinguished dignitaries and civil servants who are sharing in these festivities with us tonight. While time does not allow me to publicly acknowledge all of our special guests, we do thank them all for being here. And we ask the following city leaders to please stand up and be recognized on behalf of all persons of influence in the room. The Mayor of the City of Westlake Village, Mayor Brad Halpern, please rise. Westlake Village City Council Member Mark Rutherford, please rise. The Mayor of Hidden Hills, Mayor Stuart Siegel, please rise. California State Senator Henry Stern, please rise. Agoura Hills City Manager Greg Ramirez, please rise. Agoura Hills City Council Member Harry Schwartz, please rise. Agoura Hills City Council Member Linda Northrup, please rise. Agoura Hills City Council Member Elise Buckley Weber, please rise. Agoura Hills Mayor Pro Tem Bill Kohler, please rise. Thank you. I'll leave one for a little later. There's a fascinating teaching in the section of the Talmud known as the Medrash, the homiletic teachings of the Bible, wherein it says that when Adam and Eve, the prototypes of all Homo sapiens, were banished from the Garden of Eden, they were greatly distressed and upset. While the Almighty had no choice but to take this action, He nonetheless wished to console Adam and Eve, to lift their spirits. And so He told them that as they were entering into this new mode of existence wherein they would have to face various challenges in life, He was giving them a special gift that it will enable them to meet those challenges with stoicism, endurance, and triumph. I give you out of my heavenly treasure. Are we okay? I give you out of my heavenly treasure this priceless pearl, said God. Look, it's a tear. When your heart aches, or when emotion grips your soul and overtakes you, there will fall from your eyes this tiny tear. Then your burden will grow lighter, and your mastery over your circumstances will be strengthened. Now, this may seem counterintuitive, especially in light of most social norms. For the longest time, society had regarded crying in public as unmanly, as a sign of weakness or immaturity. The Bible tells us otherwise. Tears are a blessing. In fact, recent scientific studies back this age-old teaching showing that in addition to the natural health benefits of optical secretions, washing the surfaces of our eyes, removing foreign elements or irritations and the like, tears that come in response to emotions produce a significant amount of serotonin that enable people to get a better handle on things. Now, some of you in this room may be wondering where I'm going with this. Others know exactly where. You see, those little tissue boxes you see on your tables, the ones imprinted with a picture of the mayor of Agoura Hills, might offer a hint. You see, ladies and gentlemen, among the many things I so love and admire about my dear friend, Mayor Denis Weber, is his propensity for shedding tears whenever he is moved by the emotions of the moment, and that he's not the least embarrassed about it. I, for one, see it as a sign of his profound strength, his huge heart, his incredible warmth, his unflinching character, and his boundless love. I first met Denis Weber back in December of 1993. We were holding a large outdoor Hanukkah celebration at the Agoura Hills City Mall, and we had phoned in a request to the city for a member of the government to join us and help highlight the festivities. Dennis Weber, a freshman member of the city council at the time, promptly volunteered, even as he didn't have a clue as to what was in store for him. When he showed up at the festival with hundreds of people in attendance and introduced himself to me as Councilmember Weber, I told him we didn't have much time, that we're ready to do the kindling, so he needed to get into the cage. He looked at me and said, "The cage? What sort of ritual is this?" I then showed him this little bucket attached to a mechanical lifter cherry picker provided to us then by Southern California Edison, and explained that he and I were going to step inside that bucket, whereupon the controller inside the truck would activate the lift and raise us to the top of that, pointing to the top of this 25-foot menorah standing tall in the center of the mall. Now, it may have been nighttime, but I can almost see the color draining from the good councilman's face. But being the good sport that he is, Dennis simply said, "Okay." After we kindled the tiki torches serving as the large candles of the menorah, the band struck up a lively holiday tune while we were still way up there. The Edison people had some fun with us and let it go all the way up, so the good council member could see the entire city of Agoura Hills. And I started clapping and jumping up and down in this bucket. And Dennis looked at me like I was crazy, the expression on his face saying, "You're gonna get us killed up here." But then he got into the spirit of it and started clapping and dancing joyfully right along with me. From that point on, Dennis and I became the best of friends. Now, you may be wondering, what in the world an all-American banking executive, a religious Catholic, a horse-loving cowboy who grew up on a ranch in Arizona might possibly have in common with a Hasidic rabbi with a ZZ top beard who grew up on the streets of Brooklyn and due to some childhood trauma is weary of all animals, let alone mounting and riding a horse? The answer is that we have so much in common, so much of the things that matter most. For example, we're both deeply and strongly motivated by our commitment to our faith and convictions. We're both animated by a profound sense of gratitude to this country and the freedoms provided by its guiding principles and its Constitution. We're both passionately devoted to making a positive difference in the world, and particularly in this region, the Conejo Valley, and all its wonderful communities. Divine Providence brought us both here, and we're committed to making the Conejo Valley the best community in the world. We both love telling good stories as a way of making compelling points. We both value the ideals of family and community and social responsibility and wax emotional when it comes to any of those issues, though admittedly the tears don't come to my eyes nearly as readily as they come to his. Well, that's a pretty good basis for a solid friendship right there. There's more, a lot more. Denis has attended almost all of our organization's major functions and events. He's been a guest at my children's weddings and bar mitzvahs and upshernishes. Over the 24 years that we've known each other, he and I have both gained a lot of weight as a result of our regular lunch meetings at the Kosher Pizza Nosh. It's another thing we have in common. We both love pizza, but he puts toppings on his half of the pie. I keep mine just plain well done. His toppings don't cross the border of the pizza pie. We put up a wall. And during those lunches, we discuss a wide range of issues, but mostly focus on what we can do to improve the quality of life for people, for all people in the Conejo Valley. I remember when we were first contemplating opening a local chapter of the Friendship Circle for children with special needs. One of the first people I went to was Denis Weber. And more than just being supportive of the idea, he was beyond enthusiastic about it. He vigorously encouraged us to move ahead and has always been there to strengthen and promote the program in any way he can. Mayor Denis Weber is not your typical politician. The way he won his first election was by going door to door and meeting face to face with his constituents to hear about their issues firsthand. And that's the way he's continued to win every race ever since. You may say that it's been a great strategy for him, but I, like many others in this room, know that it's not a strategy at all. It's who he is. It's what he loves to do. He is one of the most friendly, down-to-earth, and approachable people persons you will ever meet. Even after nearly a quarter century, it's still the connection with voters, addressing their concerns where they live, that Mayor Weber cherishes most about the job. As for his colleagues, clients, and constituents, ask them what they think of Denis Weber, and you will hear consistently among the top vote-getters of the City Council why he's such a pleasure to work with and be around, and the nouns you will invariably hear invoke are humor and sincerity, honesty, integrity, sensitivity, fairness, kindness, open-mindedness, patriotism, and humanitarianism. Besides, they'll tell you, he's a great mayor, a great city councilman who loves his job, is good at it, and gets things done. And if he sheds a tear or two in the process, well, then he's just a bigger man for it. As I stand here, I can proudly say, in all manliness, that I love and adore Mayor Denis Weber. And as you'll see in the next video, I'm hardly alone. Roll the video.
Trust, leadership, vision. These are some of the qualities that have guided Mayor Denis Weber to lead the city of Agoura Hills for decades. His is a story of humble beginnings, a story of hard work and character, a story of devotion to country, family, and community. This is Denis Weber.
As far as my philosophy, I'm a guy that's, I love the Constitution. I'm very patriotic. I care so much about the American way of life and the freedom and how blessed we are as a nation to be here.
Denis would grow up with a love of horses. That love would eventually bring him to the Conejo Valley.
It was before cell phones, so I could ride, and nobody could find me. It was just it was great just being out in the open and being part of nature. Little by little, I got to know more and more people in the city, and I enjoyed it. My wife and I enjoyed meeting new people. And then our son was born in 1992, and in 1993, I decided to take a shot and run for city council. I've been on the city council now 24 years.
Denis is a great example for others to follow in the community because he's always giving and not really expecting anything in return.
One man makes a trip to City Hall as he has done so many times before.
Denis, with your leadership and involvement with the city, we were able to accomplish so much. We built 2 beautiful bridges, freeway overpasses, completion, the creek restoration, design and build a beautiful 35,000 square foot recreation center, and importantly, through the Great Recession, we had balanced budgets every single year.
It's been a wonderful experience working with Dennis. He's a wonderful man. This is a great honor. Congratulations, and you're a true asset to this community.
Denis distinguished himself with his efforts on behalf of the Naval Sea Cadets, the Boys and Girls Club of the Greater Conejo Valley, and the Boy Scouts.
I've known Denis for over 20 years, first as our banker, and then as being co-founding board members of the Boys and Girls Clubs. I have to say, the qualities that I think of with Denis are his warmth, his caring attitude towards people and the community, and his integrity.
Agoura Hills, California is a burgeoning city in the hills of the Santa Monica mountain range. It offers an unparalleled quality of life with scenic parks, recreational opportunities, and excellent shopping. But beyond the obvious natural wonders of the Conejo Valley, there are also hidden gems.
I called Dennis Prager on his radio show, never thinking I'd get on, but I got right through to him. And I told him who I was and what I was going to be doing that night. And I told him that I admire and respected him so much, and that when I lit the menorah with this rabbi, I didn't know that I was going to do it in his honor. And then I wound up going to the Agoura City Mall, meeting Rabbi Moshe Bryski.
Thanks so much, you guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for allowing us here.
Who turns out is dear friends with Denis Prager. And now I've known Denis Prager. I've met with him, and I even had a Shabbat dinner with him and Rabbi Bryski.
We have a lot in common, my friend, not least of which is our first name. But actually, that probably is the least, because what we really have is love for each other, and we have shared values. You're very special to a lot of us. I am one of the people that you're very special to.
I think Rabbi Bryski and his team, they're gifts from God as far as I'm concerned. And the things that they think of doing are unique.
Denis is a dedicated supporter of the Friendship Circle, and he always leads the charge at the Friendship Walk.
When we first planning the Friendship Walk, I went to Denis to talk about it with him.
And I've never missed a Friendship Walk, ever.
He's friendly in all communities and with all faiths. But I think his commanding principle has to do with family.
Congratulations, Dad. I'm so proud to be part of this special recognition celebrating you. This is so deserving, and you should be so proud, as you've given countless decades to the betterment of so many community programs.
Uncle Denis, it's your nephew Patrick. I'm sending you this video to say congratulations, and that I'm really proud of you.
We're so happy to be part of your evening tonight, and we can't think of somebody more deserving than you, Denis, to have this honor. Know that when you come to visit us, we'll have some Alabama whiskey waiting for you.
We love you, Papa.
Very close family, man. Near this cowboy, think of horses and John Wayne. The fourth one is community service, city council member, mayor. And the last one, crier, because Denis is an emotional kind of guy.
All of you that are sitting here tonight, watching this, you probably know I'm crying. and maybe I am crying. I intend to cry probably when I have to make some remarks, but you mean so much to me. You mean so much to Lori and I and Chris and Aaron that we wouldn't be the people we are without all of you.
You've showed us what it means to be a great citizen, a great community leader, a great father.
Privileged and blessed to have you as my friend. We love you, man.
You've been our friend to us and to our family, and we are blessed to have you in our lives.
We love you, and we are so happy to be here tonight to honor you.
Dennis, what can I say? You're a brother to me. I couldn't think of a better person for them to be celebrating tonight than for them to be celebrating you.
Denis Weber is a special man.
Congratulations, Mayor Weber.
God bless America.
And God bless Denis Weber.
Ladies and gentlemen, accompanied by his lovely wife Lori, son Chris, and daughters Erin and Kelly, please welcome our esteemed honoree for Gala Banquet 2017, the beloved mayor of Agoura Hills, California, Mayor Denis Weber.
Man, after looking at that video, I do need to lose weight. Oh, man, that's why, now I know why Rabbi Bryski would let me see that video first. Thank you all for being here tonight. I also want to thank those who couldn't make it, but sent me personal notes to express their regrets and wish me well and offer their congratulations on this recognition. It meant a lot. My family here tonight means everything to me. My wife Lori, who married me nearly 32 years ago, my son Chris, my daughter Erin, my other daughter Kelly, who was herself a mom to her daughter Olivia. Also here tonight is my brother-in-law Nick, our nephew Dan, and I ask you now also to remember and pray for our other nephew Patrick, who you saw in the video, and our niece Kimberly, both of which are serving in the United States Navy. In fact, Kimberly flies F-18s, and she is stationed off the coast of North Korea. You told me you only talk about 6 or 7 minutes without the crying. A little over a year ago, I was going to the city council meeting, and I got a personal email from Rabbi Bryski. Now, as many of you know, when you get an email from Rabbi Bryski, you better open it, because it's something important, and you got to do it right away. Well, this email had an attachment to it. And he told me about his feelings about me and what he said I've done for him, the Chabad, the city, and the community at large. It then went on to tell me about the honor that the Chabad wanted to give me tonight. I only got through about half of it when I literally broke down and cried. Not a good start to start a city council meeting with tears in your eyes, although there are times when that's the most appropriate thing to do. I thought, why me? I never thought of myself deserving of anything like this. I always have just done the job that I thought God wanted me to do. I didn't want or expect anything except his love and his appreciation. I reminded Rabbi Bryski that I wasn't even Jewish. He merely said, it's not about being Jewish, it's about being a mensch. And I do know what a mensch means. Besides, he said, we can make you an honorary Jew for the evening. You know, the painless kind. My mom and dad passed away a long, long time ago. They were never to know the many blessings God has given me and my family. I don't think they could have ever managed their son would be a mayor or a senior vice president at a bank. They just always wanted me and my brothers to be happy and faithful men. Growing up, they never got involved in anything outside our home. But my brothers and I were always raised with the expectations that we were to love God, go to church, behave properly, to always share what we had, to not be selfish or use bad language, to never boast about ourselves or the things we did or the things we had. In those days, you didn't talk much about dreams. Everyone was always working just hard to make a living. There wasn't much time for personal matters. I went to work early in life. I delivered telegrams on my bike and newspapers on my horse. And I always did the job that was asked of me. I just wanted to show my bosses that they could rely on me to do the best job I could. The word mentor was never in my vocabulary, but I succeeded in various positions, whether it was in a fast food restaurant, the military, or in banking, because these bosses saw something in me that I never saw in myself. They promoted me, they gave me raises, and they thought about me whenever a new job came along. They just come up and say, Dennis, I think you do a great job over there. Or Dennis, this is the perfect spot for you. So I went where they suggested, and that's the way my life has been. I never strived to get recognized, but I always thought if I did the job someone wanted me to do, they would notice it and take care of that next step. I know it sounds kind of simplistic in this day and age when there's constant jockeying for position and notoriety. I've been around a lot of people in my life that have become my friends and consequently my extended family. We've always looked out for each other and we had each other's back, as the saying goes. I always try to make a difference in people's lives, be it banking, the military, Boy Scouts, the Boys and Girls Club, or just friends that I made along the way. My wife says those differences are often opinions, and I give them for free. I've always been a man of faith and convictions, and when you start to think about the end of a career, or as a cowboy says, the end of the trail, you tend to think about your legacy. The legacy can be good or not so good. Each one of us has a legacy. And what do we want our children, our friends, or coworkers to say about us? The time to think about that is not before our funerals, but now. As for me, I want my legacy to be he had principles and lived by them daily in his work, as well as with his family and friends. And as Dennis Prager literally told me over the radio, while on the city council, he always voted as though he was not running for re-election. He believed in God, he loved and cared for his country and his family. He took steps that would have people think of him with fondness and respect. He told funny stories about the good old days and often cried when he spoke about those things. He shed tears, not of sorrow and despair, but of pride and of joy. He couldn't understand why some of his fellow citizens didn't appreciate America, cherish its values, or defend its honor as passionately as he did. Ladies and gentlemen, each day when I leave my house, I drive down Canaan Road, I get on the 101 freeway heading north to go to the bank, and as I pass the Chabad, every day I look to my right and think about the people hard at work inside those buildings. I think about what they do to educate young and old, to inspire people from all walks of life, to extend a loving hand to children with special needs, and a helping hand to those who are facing tall challenges and struggles in their lives, including the sick, the elderly, the troubled, the poor, and the needy. And with those thoughts on my mind and in my heart, I say a prayer for Rabbi Bryski and his colleagues and their families, and for Israel. These past 24 years of knowing Rabbi Bryski and all of you at the Chabad has been a special part of my life. Our friends and neighbors that have been a part of our lives for so many years, thank you for sharing this night with us. My friends from the bank, especially Dave Rayner, the chairman, I so appreciate you being here and celebrating with us and supporting me these past years. The entire Chabad staff, especially Leah Weiss, and she's going to hate me for saying her name, they have all worked so hard on tonight's event, and all of you have made us happy to call you our friends. God has blessed me beyond anything I could ever have imagined or wished for, and I hope he's happy with me and what I've tried to do in my personal life, my professional life, and my political life. So I want to thank you again tonight for coming and honoring me. But the honor isn't mine. Sorry, it belongs to my mom and dad. My mom and dad, who gave me the values that never go out of style. The same values I try to give to my children. It belongs to my family here tonight, whose love and support gives me faith and strength each day. And it belongs to all the men and women who have believed in me and had such a large part in helping me succeed and be where I am today. So in closing, I ask God to bless you all, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.